Traders, I hope you're doing really well. Welcome to our market breakdown, Sunday market breakdown, 22nd of September 2019. Let's get straight into it. Fundamentally, this week we've got quite a lot of jam-packed fundamentals. Yes, the 21st of September, yesterday, we saw that the US Pentagon has deployed its forces to the Middle East after Iranian attacks on the Saudi Arabia facilities that had occurred last weekend. We can expect a lot of volatility in gold this week, a lot of volatility in oil, a lot of volatility in US pairs, okay? So that's quite a lot to take into. At the moment, we don't know if there's going to be a war between the US and Iran, but at the moment, war has the title war is used in any commentary. We are going to see a massive volatility in gold to the upside. At the moment, let's just start with gold. At the moment, what we can spot was a clear, nice head and shoulder pattern that we have recently been spotting. We can see that price action had come up to these highs, come back to these lows, made a new high, and then what do we have? Similar pattern occurring here on the right as well as the left. And we can see that price action right now is respecting this area of 1518 level, which is previously an area of resistance, but if you look here, an area of support with multiple wicks to the downside. Okay, with now that being said, what else can you spot? We can also spot that price action is in a nice uptrend, bouncing off a trend line to the upside. I did say on Friday that this price action was going to hit 1520, which we did. We spiked right up to the 1520 and rejected. Now, what can we expect from this area here? We had 1505 being an area of potential support, and price action had broken. If I can get a retest of 1505 and we sustain and we hold above 1505, I am going to be looking for a potential buy opportunity on this pair to the upside. With the optimism, or I wouldn't say optimism, but with the risks of war occurring, okay, I do favor gold to continue this upside momentum to the to carry on breaking above 1520 and onwards. And the reason why I say that is because first and foremost, we are above our monthly support, which is at 1485. If you look left, clear level of support. We're now coming to our weekly resistance, which is on our 1555 level, which price action had tapped and rejected. We can see 1505 being our area of 4-hour resistance, but we also support, but we also have 1518 being our 4-hour resistance. What I am looking for now is a price action to pull back to 1505 to create a lower high. We've got the lows, we've got equal highs. If price action gives me an indication that it wants to create a potential higher low here, I am going to be looking for price action to rally to the upside. Equal bottoms, equal tops. Okay, so what do we know about equal tops and equal bottoms? Price action is ranging. Okay, ranging, we're at the top of the range. I'm not looking to buy anything at the top of the range. I'd prefer a pullback. Get a pullback at this 1505, great, then I'm looking for a push higher. But at the moment, every time you can see that price action had made a move up to 1520, we've always broke through 1505. Come back to retest, always getting pushed down. Every time we break, we're getting rejected from 1518. So I'm going to be watching these three key levels. If we break 1505, we could potentially come back to retest the trend line one more time before making that move higher. So at the moment, we've only got that one touch here of the trend line, where price action really started. What we have is an inner trend line that really played out, which is here previously, which made this entire move to the upside. After having a touch, made a move to the upside here. But what happened was we broke out, a retested structure, and we're now sustaining that momentum to the downside. Is this head and shoulder play going to come into? Is this head and shoulder pattern going to come into play? We don't know. The only time that it could come into play is if we break like that through an area of a monthly support, retest, and we continue to the downside to our weekly key level, which is our 1420. I'm watching these key 1430. I am watching all this price action. I am going to be looking for a price action to potentially pull back, like I said, to 1505 and then make that move higher to our weekly resistance. If possible, I am looking for price action to break this weekly resistance and make a new high all the way up to 1625. So we've got the highs, higher low. Can we pull back and make that rally to the upside? So fundamental is going to be heavily driving this pair to the upside or to the downside. We don't know. If we hear that the China and US have made a deal, we are going to see a move lower. But if we hear that anything that is going to be negative in terms of Donald Trump doesn't need China for an election, or Donald Trump doesn't need China to make a deal, or Donald Trump is going to be increasing the tariffs on Chinese goods, anything that's going to be creating global uncertainty, we are going to be seeing gold make that move to the upside. Moving on, dollar index. Like I said, dollar index is in a clear here. Look, what we have is some sort of a downtrend pattern. What it's the signs of downtrend? Well, we've got the highs, pull back, lower highs, pull back, lower highs, pull back, lower highs, pull back, lower highs. All the signs that price action wants to keep pushing lower, lower, and lower. Like I said, in my webinar, we did see the FOMC cut by 25 basis points. However, there was limited reaction as price action was playing out this inverted head and shoulder. If I show it to you, we had a nice head here, a nice entire shoulder here, and now we've got a nice entire shoulder here. And is price action going to be respecting this region, or is it going to be pushing up higher? For this price action to come into play, we need to see a break of the neckline, which is here. So you've got shoulder, shoulder, head, break of the entire area of resistance, which is now classed as an area of neckline. So is price action going to do that or reject? At the moment, we've seen rejection occur, and we are seeing a second rejection occur in a 4-hour time frame. So I am going to be monitoring for either two things. Price action comes back into this area of 98.20, and we bounce off and we make that new high. And we bounce off and we break this neckline and we make that move to the upside to the 99 level. Or price action is going to break. If I zoom out, look what I'm looking at here. Price action is going to break. What is this? Sorry, just bear with me 1 second. Just bear with me 1 second. There you go. Okay. So yeah, as I was looking at it on a daily time frame and on a 4-hour, if price action breaks, as you can see, this trend line on a daily, you can see how it's been in a very upside momentum. If it breaks, we could see a potential clear break, retest either of the trend line or support. So support, turn it into resistance, retest of trend line, and then can we see a move lower either to the 97.50 or all the way back down to the 97. So dollar weakness going to drive a lot of pairs to the upside, but dollar strength is also going to drive a lot of pairs to the downside. So we are going to be watching this so carefully, dollar index, to kind of give us an idea of where it wants to go, what it could potentially be doing, and are we going to be expecting a move to the upside for the dollar strength, or are we going to be expecting a move to the downside? Personally, I do believe that there is a chance that we're going to be potentially pushing to the downside. However, it all just depends on the commentary that we get on fundamentals, and it also depends on what the data on the US fundamentals are going to be portraying this week. Looking at the calendar, so we have USD manufacturing PMIs that's going to be coming in on Monday at 2:45. Then we have the FOMC member William and Bullard speaking at 2:50 and 6 p.m. Bullard, let me just remind you guys, second most influential federal member. Williams, I think, comes in third or fourth. So two of the biggest players in the Federal Reserve banks, so the FOMC. And I am going to be looking to see what their commentaries are going to be based on. Is it going to be based on the economy, or is it going to be based on global uncertainty? Then on Tuesday, we have the USD consumer confidence. This is going to be very important in terms of to show the it's going to kind of have an overview effect on inflation in terms of how much are consumers spending, how much confidence have the consumers got in terms of the economy. So when the consumer confidence is high, we can expect that the inflation is increasing. Then we have USD final GDP, which is going to be big for them in terms of how good is the economy at the moment, their gross domestic products. So that's going to be the first quarter. We are going to be watching to see if it's at 2%. Anything below 2% is going to be negative. And then we have, again, on Friday, USD core durable goods and personal spending as well. So this is going to kind of indicate the inflation of the economy. We also have a lot of members speaking. However, these members are all irrelevant. The only members that are big: Williams, Bullard, Evans, Powell. Anytime they're speaking, you want to pay attention to. Look, here we go. Federal member Evans speaks. Make sure that you listen to that and see what he's got to say, which is why you're seeing them come in a bit earlier. Okay, Bullard 6 p.m. I don't know why, but it should be above Williams. But with that being said, USD strength is going to be very, very monitored based on the strength data, GDPs, consumer confidence, like I just said, core durable goods, personal spending. Let's look at Euro USD. In fact, so Euro USD, what do we see on Friday? We've seen that push lower. Okay, so we've got this nice structure coming into play, an area of supply which I've highlighted clearly. Price action, it's at weekly. We bounced off the weekly support with this double bottom. However, we thought we had an inverted head and shoulder that was in current play from this entire area of support. But what has happened is that price action had actually come back, where we've taken an original long position overnight at 101 level. So 101, 1.100 level. We've taken a long position, drove onto the upside. Price action had made that rejection of the trend line and made that move to the downside. It looks to me that price action did an A, B, C, pull back, double top, back to this area and couldn't extend to the downside. With that being said, I should have paid full attention to these series of lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, pull back, again another lower high. These should have been the clues that price action wanted to go lower. With that being said, what can we see now? Price action had finally bottomed, and now we've got a potential triple bottom occurring at an area of support. With that being said, Euro PMI is going to be driving this pair to the upside if it comes out positive. So my eyes are super glued to Euro USD tomorrow. Looking at it on the hourly, what can we see? Price action had bottomed, made that indecisive candlestick, bullish engulfing and back at an area of dynamic support. We have one touch, two touch now. Can we look for that third touch on the trend line? I do believe that price action will make that move tomorrow to the upside, all the way back up to these highs. And I do believe that we have got potential to push up as high as this area of 1.1100 level. So I am going to be looking at this area, because you look at this area was the supply move for this zone, pushed up, came back down. So every time price action came into this entire zone here, there was a potential supply area. So if price action is going to be at these bottoms, I do expect him to pull back up into that area there. 4 hour time frame, potential area of lower high. If we can take this structure out, guys, look, if we can take the structure out where previously was support, pull up, come back, resistance, resistance, resistance. If we can take out this area, we're good to go long. We're very good to go long. I am looking for a long trade around this area anyways. I will be monitoring this zone in the London session. Early hours of London session at the moment is very indecisive. The only things that are kind of giving us an indication to the upside is this bullish candlestick and the next candlestick, which is next to it, is a hammer. So those two are the only ones that are giving me indication to the upside, and price actions pushed off an area of support. However, we are going to be monitoring this to see if price action can break these structures here of protect, and if we can sustain above and look for that move to the upside. We don't need to rush into no trade tomorrow, just going to be monitoring. Moving on to Euro JPY that a lot of traders have been watching. Price action, like I said, is now coming to an area of potential support. What has price action been doing? So lows, higher highs, higher lows, pushing up higher highs, higher lows, double bottom, pushed up to make that new high. Okay, come back to higher lows. So we've got higher low, we've got lows, higher low, where price action popped back his head into when fundamentals came out. So higher lows, pull back, can we create another high low, okay, before making a huge move back up to 1.20750. I am looking for that price action. Looking on the 4 hour, you can clearly see that we are trending to the upside here. If I show you, nice trend to the upside, which we broke out of. Okay, nice trend to the upside, which we broke out of. However, look what we got. Resistance, 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 support, support. Does that mean that just because we've broken a trend line, we've broken the entire structure? And the answer is no, we have not broken the entire structure. So I do believe that we are going to be seeing the Euro JPY make that move to the upside. So I'm going to be monitoring to see what PMI services come out on. We have news for Euro all the way up till 9 a.m. Then we have the ECB central bank member, President Draghi, speaking. If you're in any Euro trades early in the morning, I'm looking to get in as early as possible, spot stop loss at break even, so we can look to capitalize on these trades. EuroCAD, I'm explaining really well in the webinar, at an area of support again. Canadian dollar's weak, Looking like a flag pattern, bullish engulfing, more evening star formation, pullback. Price action is now sustained above 1.46 key psychological even handle number. I am looking for either a break of this whole area, a retest of that 1.4550, and then I'm going to be looking to just potentially trade to the upside on this pair as well. You can see that we have a trend line that's acting as an area of resistance. So if we can break the trend line and sustain above, perfect. Okay, then you could look for a massive rally to the upside of 1.49 level by the end of the week. Looking at on the 4 hour, clearly 4 hour bottoms here, support, resistance, support now. So I do believe we are going to see a move to the upside in this pair as well. Yeah, I'm going to be monitoring it very, very closely. And lastly, I am looking at potentially, hold on, what was the other pair I was looking at? GBPJPY, that's it. So GBPJPY, this could potentially be a trade of the week if we catch it at the right time. So we've broken 135 monthly support, a monthly resistance, rejected, come back to the downside. So what happens when you reject a price action, especially a key level? There's a high probability we are going to pump back into that area. If we come back to this whole area of potential support, you see this whole area of support? So if we could come back into this area and tomorrow hover around within the whole Asian session, I am looking for a potential retest back all the way up to 1.35 or at 1.34, 600, 700. I am going to be looking around this region because if I look left, this is the area where I am seeing potential moves like here, look, structure, look left. So if I can get a pullback into 134, 600, I am going to be potentially looking for a short trade back down all the way to our next area here where we've got another potential structure, which is also a potential area of support. So around the 142, 600. And if we can break that, then I'm going to be looking for an entire trade back down all the way to 132 or the 131 level weekly support. Okay, whenever price action rejects monthly resistance, it will always come to weekly support, and if it breaks weekly support, monthly support. Okay, that's why I have these figures involved in as early as possible, so I can show you lot how to identify when the market is really trending, when the market is really rejecting key levels, and what to do next. I said to you lot that GBPJPY has made that free move to the upside, so it's exhausting now. So let's take full advantage of this exhaustion. Okay. We've got a nice trend line here that we've broken. Look, clear break of that uptrend. Can we retest this trend line, retest the structure, and then make that move to the downside? Okay, and make that move to the downside, something like that. Get in that trade early, and then boom, enjoy it. USD CAD, similar scenario. Look, that one leg pullback, second leg pullback, third leg pullback. Now what do you have? A head and shoulder pattern in play. You see that head and shoulder pattern? Head, shoulder, shoulder. I'm waiting for a snap of that neckline right here. See this entire area here? If we can break that, this thing is gone. If this thing snaps through here, retest, we're coming back to 1.31. Area of exhaustion again, just exhausted. Okay, so you could have your trend line here, you could have your trend line here, but I'm just adjusting price so that it helps me identify what price action is doing. So if I can get a snap through here, perfect, retest. So we are going to be monitoring these pairs. All depends on USD fundamentals, so we may not see this pair play out until maybe Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, we may see significant USD strength in the beginning of the week, but we are going to be monitoring every single pair to kind of understand what's happening. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this little market breakdown. Watch these pairs. Going to be catching you guys up tomorrow live session at 8 AM.